The latest Xbox and PS5 consoles are some of the best pieces of gaming hardware that we have ever seen, but there's one problem. Scalpers have taken over the world. No longer is it just tickets and shoes being bought up and sold at insane prices, but now everything is getting scalped from collectibles to baby toys, and our favorite gaming consoles have been some of the most affected. But with that considered, GTA 6 likely won't be getting released until 2024, so the question to ask is, will this really play a factor on if the next GTA should be released to only new generation consoles? Assuming just about everyone can get their hands on an Xbox if they choose to, and PS5s likely will be the same soon enough, I personally don't think it will matter. But it did spark an interesting debate that I want to break down in this video. So first off, obviously there's a side of people who would want GTA 6 to be on last gen, such as people that, for example, might not game enough to justify spending money on a new console. It's a fair side to consider, but I think the reality is that a majority of people who game enough to really want GTA 6 will be willing to buy a new console if able. Plus, by 2024, I would assume other games would already be pushing gamers out of the last generation consoles. Outside of that, truly the only argument I could think of as to why Rockstar would attempt to release on last gen would be to get every sale possible. While this does sound like a very Rockstar thing to do, I think after watching the example of Cyberpunk, their shareholders will be smarter than that. So when it comes to the arguments against trying to release GTA 6 on both generations, I think it all comes back to the example of Cyberpunk. If Rockstar tries to release GTA 6 on the PS4 and Xbox One, consoles of which were released in 2013, so at that point will be over 10 years old, the game itself will be severely limited. Looking at Cyberpunk, so many promised features were cut not only due to lack of time and resources, but also due to the technical limitations of these old consoles. If CD Projekt Red focused all their resources on developing for next-gen consoles, the game itself would have been completely different. And in GTA 6, not only would it benefit gamers to have the most updated possible game, allowing for things like essentially no loading screens, better building interiors, and more, but I also think it would benefit Take-Two Interactive if they actively make a better decision. With CDPR, not only did they lose a significant amount of money due to refunds, but they also lost a stellar reputation. If something similar is pulled with GTA 6 by a company who at this point already has a subpar reputation due to things like GTA 5 releasing on 3 generations and the new GTA Plus subscription service, who knows what the repercussions would be. Maybe I'm thinking too optimistic here, but they have said they want to significantly move beyond what they've previously delivered, so I think good decision making will play a big part in that. Along with this, I think Rockstar and Take-Two will likely look at the development costs versus possible revenue with a release on last gen. The fact of the matter is, the money it would take to develop for these old consoles is most likely more than the money they could make, because why would you buy on that generation when you have a newer and better console? So while we as gamers might not necessarily care about revenue, because we all know GTA 6 will perform insanely well sales-wise, the timeline for its release and console availability might end up working out for us GTA fans. But with that being said, I personally think GTA 6 should only be released on next-gen consoles so we can get the very best game possible. Let me know what you think though down in the comment section, like if you enjoyed the video and dislike if you didn't, and subscribe for GTA 6 content every single day. Later.